I actually look at Fawn after this. I say, "Are you sure this is a good idea?"
I trust him with my life.
Like, in looking at Marcus, it's a very weird thing because everything he's saying is planned, no matter how crazy it sounds.
Oh, of course.
We
Oh,
do
these.
need help. The two of
Well,
us are not going to solve this little puzzle of ours.
very well. If this is the plan you want to go for, why would I stop you from doing it?
Perfect. Either way, I know there has been some rooms rented. If we wish to speak privately, then I think especially with the Baron, then that would be the place to do it.
You're barren.
Yes, I travel with a Baron from the city of Greyhawk. He found me on that island. I helped him escape.
In fact, everybody noticed that large red-scaled lizard folk came in, and part of the red team. In fact, everybody noticed that because there's no way to hide it.
Large,
Uh,
red,
Wi-
scaly man.
with a
yeah,
tiefling.
yeah. Well, no, actually, Axis is covered right now, right? He's not.
Oh, I assume he's not. Axios is open, right?
Sorry, what?
Is
You're
Axis
are you covered?
Um, not really, no.
okay?
At
With a
least,
tiefling.
like, the horns wouldn't be. He's wearing all of the warm clothes possible, but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the distinctive features are visible.
Oh, also you notice my clothing is not cold weather clothing.
Mhm.
I mean, Carganos would basically say the red thing there is your baron.
Yes, it's a very odd situation. It was almost actually a kobold that got the barony. They put it up to a vote.
Because guys,
No.
you know Kobold, not even by reputation, but personally,
Yeah.
So that idea just sounds,
Yep.
Whoever thought that was a good idea, maybe
yeah.
it's for the best that that didn't happen.
I never got to meet the poor soul who would have been put in that situation. I've heard good things about him though. Um, either
Okay.
way,
Do
if
you
we do wish
wish?
to properly speak, there is a couple of rooms rented.
Very well. I will speak to you and your baron privately.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
There's probably some things you need to know anyway.
Yes, especially if I'm going to be a human shield of some sort. And that is when I will look over to the group and just point up.
Mhm. So Fawn basically says, "Go ahead. I'll clear, the tab and join you later." So it doesn't look like everybody's marching at the same time to the same room, but she
I'm
comes
gonna
back and
I am gonna stay behind with Fawn for a quick second as you
Mhm.
guys all go upstairs.
Mhm.
And I'm just
Yeah.
gonna turn to her and I say, I hope you know what you're doing.
Right now we don't have a better things to do. If this Baron at the least can attract some attention, it'll draw out whoever is trying to settle. My take on this would be to use the Baron as a wild card.
Hmm.
Politicians and rich people like to have advantages, and this is right now it's a political slap fight. So an important person from Greyhawk or nearby could, in their eyes, tip the scales.
I
Just
just wor I just worry that they're too obvious.
well,
And that's the last thing we need right now.
you stay in the shadows, and hopefully you could cover our backs.
Well, that I can do. Don't worry about that.
Hmm. Let's go.
Uh, as we're
Let
going
me
up, as we're going
yes,
up the stairs to the
Mhm.
rooms, just to the group. All right, I've gotten a good read on most of the situation. I don't trust the cloaked fellow that much, but I trust that he will do what it takes to cover his end. I know that Fawn is well intentioned in everything she does, even if it seems shady. So she is definitely a good good source to follow unless something has severely damaged her in this past time, but it doesn't seem so.
This sounds good. It's interesting that you have friends out here, but, well, let's see what's going on.
I've made sure to keep one friend throughout most of my time. One of the few people that I was reasonable with when I was young.
Put your keys in the. And now I got it. Never mind. Oh God.
But yeah, no, we go up. I will give I'll give them the base information of what I got.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, eventually.
I go upstairs and I will introduce myself to this Baron. And I say, "You're the one in charge."
That's right. I'm Baron Kicks the Shield. It's a pleasure to meet a good friend of Marcos.
I actually look a little puzzled by that, but I will let it slide. I said, "You may call me Carganus. At your service, Baron."
All right, Carganus? So, I believe Marcus said that there's something important to talk about here.
Before we begin, I need to know one thing. You're not going to kill me, are you?
I don't see why I would.
I'm actually going to remove the face mask, and then you get to actually see the hobgoblin face.
Ah, monster, kill it.
Oh god.
You fuck.
Destroy him.
That's an interesting turn of events.
I would explain the disguise.
No kidding.
Is the disguise that obvious?
Well,
you
not
just
until
took it off.
Yeah, you just
One says it like, yeah, it's like that.
I mean, yeah.
Rather hard for me to disguise my snout, so I've never done it.
Don't feel bad about me noticing it. I haven't slept in 5 years, and I'm hyper aware of my surroundings everywhere.
I could just imagine Kicks trying to put on a wig and going, "I'm a human."
He just has like a mustache and a sombrero. Hey, how's it going?
You're that gremlin from Gremlins 2. That's a wig and a dress on.
Hello, fellow humans.
Nice picture. That's cool.
Yeah, that's more what he really looks like. Anyway, he just smiles and he says, "Well, considering the company that you have, Baron, perhaps maybe it's best I just be honest with you."
Well, as a friend of mine used to say, we should all strive to be more honest with each other.
I'm part of a criminal organization known as the Syndicate. Recently, there's been a power struggle with it. We have a new leader who is doing things terribly, and it might be connected with what Fawn is talking about downstairs with your political struggle. I had the nerve to shout something and speak up against it, and now, apparently, we are in trouble. And when I say we, I mean everybody who is still loyal to the old leadership.
Who would you put in a place of power?
I didn't put anybody in place. They just
No.
came.
Who would? If this gets dealt with, there will be a vacuum.
No, the one who's getting back in power will be the one who founded the Syndicate. That's not even a question.
Good. You have, in that case, it is not just eliminating one tyrant so another can come in.
Well, we have to find her first. That's the other problem.
Okay.
And
I
this
suppose
is
it
where
would make sense that if they were pushing gold in, that they were trying to go for some more subtle push of power and not just simply destroying economies.
And this
We
is
may
where
want to compare books, and if we have a sample of the gold that we came across, see if it matches.
This is where I would go into the details about Grala and Melvin and how the Syndicate, I forget the name you gave me. It was like Bloodshot or Blood Rose or something.
Blood Ghost Syndicate.
Blood Ghost. It was Blood something. Blood Ghost Syndicate. They're
Can I make a history check on that?
You may.
Go for it.
Let's go. Let's do history. History bros. 22.
Come on, history. Only 12.
Baron kicks the shield. You have heard something about it. There's been inklings, and in fact, your family dealt with the Blood Ghost syndicate when they were coming up from the Pole March, when they were escaping from your creator, who was the Red Dragon Queen. And you were smuggled northward with the syndicate. And as far as you know, you were pretty young at the time. But all the real members of the syndicate are demi-humans, humanoids, that sort of thing, right? They're non-humans. Goblins
Sense.
mostly, goblins, hobgoblins, orcs, kobolds, mostly people from the Pomarch. So they're an institution. They might even be considered to be like the equivalent of the Thieves Guild in the Pomarch and surrounding areas, right? What they're doing here, well, if they're from the Pomarch and the problem is coming from there, well, the curious thing is why would there be a power struggle if everything seemed to be in order, right? What changed? What really changed? I mean, there was a change of leadership, but why? That's the question.
Right. And if I were to venture a guess, the Shadow Brotherhoods that have been harassing Greyhawk for some time perhaps have made their play upon these syndicates. Their own
Maybe.
candidate may be that which is trying to seize power.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have run-ins with assassins and others before, so.
I don't suppose you've seen anyone in your times that happen to carry these marks, and I will share some like the various symbols that I've seen before from like the different cults and groups that we've been dealing with.
What would be the role for that, just out of curiosity?
That'll be intelligence check.
Mm,
Because hey, maybe you saw it, but it didn't matter to you.
You may have seen, you saw some people move in with Melvin, right? But not a lot of new people, right? You suspect that they're the ones who helped him, kill Grala's son, who was an accomplished fighter, an assassin in his own right.
yes.
Right. So yeah.
Means nothing to me. Could be those who came in. I couldn't tell you. I'll be honest, I didn't really stick around too much after my own efforts to find out information got stymied.
That was for fun.
Trying to show off there, Fop?
No, that was for fun.
Fun Riverwood. No, not for fun, but for Fun Riverwood.
As you can see, this is already a confusing and badly chosen name.
100%.
Nothing
My
will
next
ever
character's
go
name
wrong.
is going to be what?
I mean, when I heard the character's
Cool.
name, I'll be honest, I thought it was related to Forvel in the Pathfinder game.
The party
Who's
of
on-
5 people. Who, what, when, where, and why. That's their names.
Initiative.
Nothing goes wrong.
Who's on first?
What's on second? I don't know. Who's on third?
That's what I'm asking.
Who's on first? I don't know. Third base.
Every single combat.
I think the best way to move forward is to compare what we know about gold movements with what you know. Speak with who needs to be spoken with, and set up a way to draw out this target.
A reminder, of course, that you did notice, Carganis, that Melvin was in fact getting buying property and getting mercenaries.
I would assume I've told them that.
Yeah.
So.
That takes money, right? And this talk about moving gold. I mean, either he was draining the coffers of the syndicate in the city, which is a bad move because you need the money for a lot of things. Profit. That's what you're there for. Or he was getting more money from somewhere else. So this gold business might be part of it.
I mean, for the property alone, I would assume he's probably being bankrolled.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually this is a legit question. Do I know what property he purchased?
You know a couple of buildings, mostly in F Fields and Fishtown, right? You suspect that they're more safe houses, right?
Mm.
Abandoned properties that people, have fallen sick or have been, extortion an old couple or something like that. It's like, hey, move out or whatever, right? Basically, you're running a property scam, which is usually not in the role. That's the kind of thing that the thieves guilds like to do, not the syndicate, right? They do extortion of other things, like typical mafia thing where they go into the building. It's like, you don't pay for protection. You know what's going to happen. You don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's what I'm used to doing, actually.
yeah, not actually buying an empty house for whatever reason, right? Mostly because it leaves a paper trail as well. So you got to be careful with that.
They're clearly going into corrupt real estate speculation.
Mhm.
I would actually suggest to the Baron, perhaps after you have your meetings with people in power, you can check out the warehouse itself for clues.
Well, an investigation is always in order, but I suppose we'd probably want to get permission to do so first. This isn't my territory necessarily.
I leave that up to you. Either way.
I'm sorry, permission to break into a space to investigate. That's funny.
Well, I mean, I don't own this land. I don't have a right to simply break into someone else's home just because I feel like I have a hunch.
Oh, and neither do I.
Do I catch that smile?
Absolutely.
I think he might be implying criminal intentions.
Looks like I don't know what the fuck it
He
is.
slowly turns the gears and goes.
This human
Wait,
and this.
criminal intent? Oh, I guess that is a possibility, isn't it?
I look at Marcus and I think,
This guy's crazy. Basically.
yeah,
That's what you
exactly.
think. This guy's nuts.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And Fawn says,
Something was definitely broken when he was alone for 5 years.
Oh boy.
Man, I wonder if it was his mental state. Who knows? Crazy.
So I think we should retire for the night and start our moves in the morning. Unless anybody else has any other ideas.
Right. We should get some rest first, and we have a whole day to tackle things.
Well, actually, before I forget, you do have that sample of that gold, do you?
I definitely still have mine.
I might be able to contact an alchemist here that it's a member of the guild. He might be able to run some tests.
Well, let's confirm our suspicion at least one way.
Mhm.
Here. And I'll go ahead and hand over like what I assume is just like a small bar or something.
Yeah. The bars that you got from the ship were smaller than usual.
Yeah, I don't need to hand him like a 60-pound object and go like, you could hold this, right, with your 8 strength.
Now I'm assuming everybody's in the room there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
And she sort of wraps it up. I mean, she checks it and then wraps it and puts it back in.
Well, if we're gonna retire for the night, we got separate rooms, Baron, correct?
Yes, I've gone ahead and purchased everyone's separate rooms. Lessons, how much will that cost?
Considering that there is a lot of gold circling around, usually it'll take you about 7 silver per room. So
Okay.
usually a little for the night anyway.
So
yeah.
let's say that I'm going to pay for 2 nights, and I'll go ahead and pay 7 gold.
Yeah.
For 5 people.
You can go ahead and just forego my room.
All right.
Why?
6 gold then.
I'll just grab a chair. I'll sleep in a chair in the hallway.
Okay.
Outside
You can sleep in a chair in my room if you like.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be easier to deter any would-be assailants. Yeah,
Fair enough.
by being in the door or doorway outside.
You do sleep too, right?
Yes.
I seem to be encountering more people these days who don't need to.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I sleep, but the point
Let
being
me
that a
see.
body in the way would be.
Mhm.
Let me
Right.
see.
As you wish.
Let's see what she can do. How much? Does it require concentration? It does not. Okay.
She has a very interesting build.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
she
but
has
how
a
are her
spell.
spells?
All attack spells, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say does she have the alarm spell? Well, she probably has the alarm spell.
Well, I think so. Let me confirm.
Yeah, because she would need it in order to make sure that she doesn't, get murdered in the middle.
She does not.
Ah, that's a problem.
So she's been doing a lot of spelunking without any backup.
I mean, she wasn't alone when she was doing this spelunking, but sure, yeah.
I think her go-to method was actually no, that was
Cans
even
on
worse.
string.
So no, one of these would definitely be switched out for alarm.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. While I'm doing that though, well, in that case, I think it is best if I were to walk you back to your room and check for monsters and then call it tonight.
She smiles. It's like, Marcus, it's been a while. This just.
I'm literally suggesting a little more conversation, and that is it.
She rolls her eyes. It's like, sure. Good thing I wasn't drinking earlier. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Sebda's eyes are
Marcus is as
tracking them both like, I don't
Marcus
like
is
this.
as charming as ever.
I look at the tiefling and I say, and I actually say to you, you boy, what's your name? I didn't catch it.
Before you say anything, it's
what?
Sebda. So its name is Axios. His name is Axios, and he is a man.
Excuse me.
One of the realm's most
Could have said that myself.
One of the realm's most renowned bards, in fact.
I am quite popular at this point, I suppose.
What do you play?
A mandolin.
Wonderwall.
Strings.
Anyway, Wonderwall.
Can you play Thunderstruck? No.
No.
Anyways.
I don't even think AC/DC can play it anymore, legitimately. Anyway. And I say, then I take it you're occupied tonight, is that correct?
What do you...
And Sebda looks at you when you say that, and looks at him and is like, excuse me? He doesn't say anything, but he gets like, what?
Yeah.
I smile as I start putting my disguise back on. I say, I mean no offense. I was actually just asking if you had an extra spot for me to sleep tonight.
Oh, if I'm still in the room, like if we haven't left yet. No, you can use mine. I don't sleep.
Yes, you said that already. That worries me.
I mean, Cargonis, I remember the conversation. You already have your own room.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had a room too. I thought.
Yeah, remember the one that the escape hatch and the whole discussion? Yeah, that was your room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, then I wouldn't be asking. I ignore this entire conversation.
Well,
that was awkward.
We're gonna do that.
That was awkward.
Alrighty. Then I'm gonna take my leave and I'm gonna go down that escape hatch and go to sleep. Because I'm sure Felix the bartender will let me do so.
I mean, that's why he set it up in the corner so that you would, if you need to get in and out with nobody noticing. There you go.
And Marcus will do exactly what he just stated. He'll appreciate conversation, make sure that the space doesn't have any. He was being completely truthful when he's looking for like anything that could be tracking, anything she's not aware of in the room. Like
he went in, checked her bed for monsters, and didn't come out for 8 hours. Perfectly reasonable behavior.
Just check for monsters, stayed the night. Nothing special.
Yeah. And she says, satisfied about the checking.
Yes, and I'm satisfied with anything else, whatever happens or doesn't. It's just nice to catch up, really.
And she sighs. It's like, as tempting as the offer is, Marcus, it's gonna take a while.
No, it's not an offer. I'm not pushing for anything legitimately. I'm being
You might,
completely truthful.
yes. Good night, Marcus. And she
Have a
gives you
wonderful.
just a very nice smile. You remember those smiles when
Yeah.
you were back in Greyhawk, right? Full of sunshine
Yeah.
and good memories, right? And she starts muttering a spell as you're leaving. It's like, don't worry. It's a precaution.
It's all good. Not a problem. If if anything does happen, I'll be awake.
Okay.
Yeah, and he'll go to his room and he'll be reading for the night.
And
What?
she mutters like, yeah, he didn't he? Almost talking to herself, like, didn't he say that he doesn't sleep anymore? So come the next morning, everybody gets together. So what's the plan? The plan is to first visit the women Marcus first. Visit the people. In which order are you going to visit them?
Wow, that is a good question. So we have this weird house syndicate leader, the despot. Is that what I'm hearing?
You have three people. You have the military leader of the city, the military governor.
Yep.
You have the current despotrix and the would-be despotrix person that is claiming to be the despotrix. The rightful despotrix.
Could I possibly pull family connection to try and speak with the military governor?
I mean, from your father, but the father's been missing for 5 years.
Is this place? This place is associated with Greyhawk, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I have military connections. I'm alive still as well.
Yeah, you could tag team that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be the only thing we tag team for future reference.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
phrasing.
Sure. Yeah, this is the night of the double entendres.
For
Spooky.
sure.
It is
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah. What?
I mean, everything
Hold
is
up.
either a trick or a treat.
Yeah.
what you did
there.
That's what you did there.
Mhm.
I tried. I failed, I guess.
Oh my God, did I try? Anyway, so okay, so you're gonna do that. So you're gonna try to engage Will. What's his name? Wilbrand Carister.
Yep.
Yep.
You still leaves Daria and Adeline. How are you gonna tackle that though?
Well, if Daria is the legitimate, or currently legitimate leader of the city, I could always request the audience, which I think was suggested earlier, and that at least gives us an easy step in the door to start conversation, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And then we get thrown out for being weird.
Yeah. What exactly do we want to talk to the two despotrixes about?
I also think we need to determine the same thing about Wilbram.
Yeah, because we do need to be kind of careful, right?
We
This
need
is
to
a
have a
whole
plan.
subtlety thing.
Maybe I can help with that. Do you need me to find out information on this Wilburn or these despotrix then?
Well, like for Wilbram, what position, what problems is he connected to, and how can we use the fact that we can get this meeting to go what's going on?
Because what Fun really wants to know is where everybody stands around the issue, right? She wants to get a clearer picture of the conflict, right? She's listening from this from the outside, but if you can get information talk to them and get a feel for what their opinions and their positions. And if you observe anything, any clues along the way, right? Once you're there, right? Then so much the merrier, right?
Mhm.
So it's a double thing. First is try to get to the principles and see where their stance, their positions, etc., on the conflict, or they even consider it to be a conflict or not. And second, if you can pick up any clues along the way of other things happening, right?
Right. In that light, going up and talking to the current despot and saying, "Yes, I am here because I am looking for things. Here's some suspicious things that I'm here to look for." One, makes me an immediate obvious target. Two, makes it clear where we stand. And if they publicly say that they stand with us, then at least that is some evidence.
And also and as she hinted before, even though you're from the outside, you're still a noble, right? And a noble coming to the city, and especially someone that is actually a champion of the arena. Remember, you guys have the champion of the arena.
Yeah.
At least the ones that survived that, which
Did
would
kind of
be
win.
Yeah, you cannot win that. That also actually would be two of you. That would be Barrett, Kix, and Pandrin, because everyone else is not here.
And those would be the two going to that individual. So
and so that if there is an actual struggle, these people might be looking for allies as well, right? Even if it's just giving the nod of like, yeah, I support this side versus the other side, right? Especially if you have a power struggle between two people that are, it's a struggle of legitimacy. So coming someone else and saying, yeah, no, I believe this person is, better or worse or whatever, then yeah. And also, you're a baron with your own lands who wants to, have bring people to your lands and have commercial connections. And there's some varied reasons why you want to get in the door. What do you say? How do you approach it? I leave that entirely up to you. But remember, what you want to get is a feel for what's going on and any clues that you want to pick up along the way.
Do I know of any contacts or businesses that any of these three heavy hitters interact with within
I mean, one of Hardby is the military governor, of course, take care of the Hardby Marines, which are the military of the city.
Okay.
And any business connected to them, bars, taverns, etc., ships, transports. Yeah, there's a lot of business to do with that, equipping and maintaining them, etc. Just taking care of their needs.
So I guess my question. All right, so for that, for example, then would Carganus would he have any way of checking in on previous contacts without arousing the suspicion of the syndicate at all?
You would have to do basically stealth roll or a disguise roll, basically, to make sure that you can
I could do both, but
yeah, you're trying to put the feelers out without being noticed, right?
Yes. I'm better at stealth on that one, so I actually would like to do that. Maybe I can get you some information to help us out. Specifically, we'll start with the military commander, because that one at least is something that seems relatively easy compared to a power struggle between two heavy nobles. So stealth roll?
Yes, please.
God damn it. 10. Of course, the other one's a 28.
It's incredible. Yeah, you approach at least.
Hold on, I need to read something.
This is a statement from the terrorists that have taken over my house.
No, important. Here we go. Okay. I can replace any ability check with this. Your base on that's actually a 15.
Okay.
23.
Wait, so we have a 23 on the roll instead now, or?
Yeah.
It was by divine importance that somebody made sure you succeeded.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. What's going on?
Trying to keep my head above the camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Y'all aren't looking at the overlay, but y'all are cut to pieces
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, Pandering dropped from the call, and everybody is all over the place. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
What
We
Drowning.
need to have like a Star Trek emergency push and push it and just make the screen shake.
Yeah. Not to
Run!
contact him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My Discord is crashing. Apparently, that's what Pandering said. Yep, that's what happened. So we still
Oh,
have the audio.
I just turned to eyebrows. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's too
okay,
painful to
so-
stay in that position.
Yeah. Let's. You have a 23. I'm gonna make a simple roll.
Okay.
Actually, no. In this condition, nobody can match what you're doing, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, you do get a contact. You meet a Lothar, who is in fact a half orc.
Of course he is.
Hardby Marine. They're rare, but they do exist, right? I mean, they're not gonna turn around someone who is willing to fight. His first words out of his mouth are group, and then he says, "What can I do for you?"
That's good to see you, Lothar.
Um,
How's the sea life treating you?
They'll be stuck on land for a while now. Had a little bit of fight with my first mate, the last ship. A disagreement. I got
Please-
5 for it, so yeah.
I was gonna say, did you rip his armors off?
Oh no, it's a fob that the military governor just put in as an officer. Yeah, he didn't get into a mutiny. I took my black, and he's kind of moving his shirt like he can feel the shirt that he's still bothering him because they're healing. The scars are healing, like
Yeah. Speaking of the military governor, what do you know about him?
Like I said, he's a fob. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's a half elf, so he's outlived most of the people here. But he seems to be more concerned with politics than anything else. I don't know what his deal is. He had a good, captain general of the fleet here, good commodore, but he's retired. Now he's putting his own people in, and let's just say that they're not. They don't have their sea legs yet.
Inexperienced people into the job.
Mhm.
Sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You said that he had his other captains retired. Do you know of any that I can speak to?
A few. At least one is staying in the city.
Really?
She's a firebrand, but literally she's a firebrand. That's her last name. She's a dwarf.
I guess would that be like a history check or something?
Yeah. For you, yes. For everyone else, it's like, wait a minute.
Well, I know who it is, I think 18.
Yeah.
I
Lola
know of
Firebrand.
and I know of the clan.
Mhm. Yeah, you know of the clan. You know that it's a clan of surface dwarves that basically dominates this area. Mostly to the west, but you're not surprised that if anybody's gonna be a hardy marine would be a dwarf.
You think she'd be looking to talk about the current governor then?
Bring a good bottle of whiskey and she'll be able to talk. She's a mean bitch. But I would sail into the waters of the Styx and back with her.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Hey Lothar, thanks so much for the information. By
Yeah.
the way, you didn't see me today.
Yeah, I'm too busy to see anything. Still recovering.
I know
Yeah,
how
I
that feels.
Yeah. Take
And
care.
I leave and I'm gonna go report back to Kix about. Did I get a first name for her or just the name
Lola. Lola Firebrand.
Oh, Lola. I didn't hear the Lola from before. I
Mhm.
tell Kix, are you familiar with Clan Firebrand?
Firebrand. Would I be lessons?
Yeah, they are literally the dwarfs that are helping you on the mines. They're the
Oh
ones
yeah,
that-
they are, aren't they? It's
Yeah.
been so long since we've heard the name that it's dropped out of my own mind. It's also been almost a year we've been working on that armor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very familiar with the Firebrands. I think we're friends between my family and theirs.
A member of their clan was one of the captains in the military here in the Marines.
Actually, that's Firebrand. Firebeard.
Firebeard. Okay.
Firebeard.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. It's been so long that I even forgot myself.
So then do I? Or do I just know all dwarves?
I mean,
And I
you know
may-
of the clan. You've been working with the clan, so
You have
yeah.
omniscient knowledge of every dwarf in a 5-mile radius.
Her name her name is Lola. Apparently, she was let go of her position from our friend the captain, who apparently is playing some politics and putting new people in on the job. People who aren't exactly experienced on the job.
What was their stated reason for the dismissal?
You might have to ask Lola specifically on that. I have a
Mhm.
good word that you should also bring whiskey.
Ah, good. I was wondering what drink
Well-
I would need.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Some very strong whiskey would probably be best. I would suggest you get Dwarven, although that might be too on the nose, unless if you got a brand that you can sell.
I mean, it's not like I run a winery.
Well, wine is not whiskey, so we're good then.
That's the difference.
What is alcohol?
Apparently, lizards don't have a good palate for alcohol.
I-
As long as they get to the drug, they don't care.
Are
Wait,
you
you
all-
guys have sense of taste?
You don't. Oh dear. The cat's fucking in my way. I can't see.
Really takes the drama out of the scene.
I know. I'm trying to be all like dark and very
Moody.
matter of fact and put on a voice, and now I have a cat's ass in my face.
Kitty.
All right. So yeah, I think getting some a nice brand of whiskey in town would probably be a good place to start.
Yep.
You want to throw a price at me for that lessons, or should I just like drop a gold?
You're going for a good bottle could go a good 5 gold, 5 to 6 gold if you're looking for middle of the brand.
All right.
Again with
I'm gonna
inflation
drop
and everything.
6 gold.
Yeah, with inflation, prices are going up, especially in the winter, and because of the excess of gold. So yeah.
Here, let me make prices go even further up. Just slam some gold on the table.
Here you go, sir. Enjoy.
So yeah. So I have the whiskey to go talk. Who else wants to come? Wraith, you have military experience. I think maybe you would be good to come along. Maybe you have a thing or two to say.
Oh, I'm with Marcus at the moment.
Okay. In that case, I'll
I
keep talking to the wall
specifically
here.
Make sure you had Barracat there, or
Yeah.
Axios, yeah.
Axios.
Yeah, hi.
So
Because
Axios,
charisma.
yeah,
Charisma,
Axios,
hey.
you and I. And then afterwards we could go talk around too. And
Alright. So who are we? We're visiting this dwarf woman first?
yeah, we're gonna go over there. We're
Okay.
going to get some information to help prime us for what we'd like to ask later.
Okay.
Mind if I tag along?
The more the merrier.
Mm.
Splitting this 4 ways though. Huh.
I actually
We'll make it work.
I'll skip. It's fine.
I do put my disguise back on. I say, all barons need a bodyguard at least, somebody that can look the part.
Oh, speaking of, the 2 bodyguards that I actually did pay for, their contract is still ongoing. Would their contract include leaving the city or not?
I mean, yeah, they're contract to you.
Okay, so yeah, I have 2 bodyguards.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh.
walking around the city with 4 bodyguards.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a baron.
I'm
He's not gonna
important.
He's a
walk around.
baron.
He's an important person. He's not going to walk around, And let's go with Wraith and Marcus. Basically, you go to what passes for the military garrison, which is the lighthouse here in the south. And there's also some positions here as well in the north, but usually you can go there. You know, if you want to talk to like average soldiers, and what's going to be your approach to get an in with the governor? You're going to try to go to a high-ranking officer? What are you going to do?
I think we'll start with like the front desk equivalent. Start with the person who actually holds the holds rank, and then I would then follow up with family connections if it was required to push further.
Okay, so yeah, literally, you walk into the garrison. The garrison is sort of missile of a military garrison, also like a police station as well. So they do have a front desk, and there's a sergeant there, desk sergeant, and he has his papers, and it's like, and there's a long line of people dropping reports and doing all kinds of things like next, and you two step up. It's like,
well, I motion over to my paladin friend to start.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. He sets up. It's like, didn't know we had a important visitor today. What can I do for you, sir?
Sorry, out of character. This is which one again? This is the office of which of the three guys? I forgot the name.
Wilbram.
This is
Wilbram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wilbram Carister.
Yes, sir. I am Alexander Wraith, retired lieutenant in the Greyhawk Army. I was hoping to seek audience with Wilbram Bannister.
Ooh, okay. Any particular reason, sir?
There are interesting developments abound in the region, of which I thought an appraisal would be helpful.
Oh, well, I could put you in contact with my watch captain. You could give him a report, and then they'll probably pass it along to the military governor. I mean, he is a busy man.
I understand this, and I fully appreciate you taking the time. What with this full line of people that do need the aid, or at least whatever they're here for. It is a busy job you have, and I completely understand the hard work you must be putting in. But
Yes.
I wouldn't have come to you with such a need had I not thought that this was well above the watch captain's station. No disrespect to them or the job that they're doing.
Yes, sir, but lieutenant, you said yes. And you're dressed like a knight, so you have your shield and everything else. So that is also. I mean, he's my boss, so it has to go through the chain of command. You understand that, right?
Of course, that's
so
why
maybe you want to talk to you talk to him, and he'll make the determination.
Yes, if you could please get him, then we would love to get to the proper source of this.
Look, I understand that you have a lot of work to do. If you could just send a runner, and we will stand off to the side while you take care of more business.
Yeah, private. One private goes like, talk to, get me the watch captain. Yes, sir. Walks away. It's like, if you don't mind standing over here, I do have some people that are waiting.
I already started to move as soon as he said private.
Yeah.
Xavier, I understand that the ludicrous of the situation is basically like picking up the phone down in the operator saying, "Get me the president."
Yeah.
And so he
Put me through to the CIA head. Fucking
the bathroom? What?
no, the CIA. The head of the CIA director. I don't know the position of it.
Director, yeah.
Okay.
Director of Central Intelligence. And more people come in and they look at you because usually a full-on knight doesn't walk in the main doors and just so people are, and one of them is like, "What are you looking at, Scab? Come on, I don't have time for you." Sorry about that. And they're leaving their papers and stuff like that. And every so often somebody else comes in and somebody picks up a stack of reports and gets it away and puts it in a bound there. It's like driving like, okay, we could do that. The only thing he doesn't have, like, would be too modern, would be like an in and out, like what boxes, right? Like file holders. He doesn't have that, but he has the equivalent of a pile of papers stacking high coming in and the lower one coming out. So yeah. It takes about a good 50 minutes, and then you see this younger man barely in his 20s. Much younger than the sergeant. Come in, it's like, sergeant, you called for me? And the private is like with him, say, oh yeah, yes, sir. These gentlemen right here like to have a word. They seem to have important information. They said they wanted to talk to the the military general. The military governor. Spit it out, man. Yes, of course. These two gentlemen wanted to speak to the military governor about recent events in the region. And I informed them, and of course, there's a chain of command, and that they need to first speak to you. Right. Well done, Sergeant. Gentlemen, follow me.
Follow.
And you go to like a second story office, very small office in the corner, overlooking the bay. It's like, please take a seat.
I will move up, pull out a chair for my paladin friend, and then I will sit down afterwards.
I was like to think we have a Canadian standoff going on. I pull out a chair for you, and then we both look at each other. We laugh.
And then we switch. And then
yeah. And they have like fed me a scribe. Well, yes, gentlemen. What is this important report that you have? You were good enough to impress my sergeants. Guess it's good enough for me to hear about it. Go ahead.
Well, we have been we recently traveled here on some personal business and discovered the rumors of tension and various events going on. I had interest in the region already due to its connection to Greyhawk and my recent reestablishment of my position and connection to Greyhawk. And we wish to speak with the individual that we have mentioned in order to get a full grasp of what the current events are.
Excuse me, sir. But what position are you talking about? I thought this was a report of bandits or an attack on a caravan or some other thing.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He is a retired lieutenant from the Greyhawk military. My father was also retired high-ranking Greyhawk military, and I'm a specialist on various properties in addition to that, and we do wish to speak
And
with the person who is in charge here, which would be one William Carrister.
And your father would be, sir?
Oh, of course, I will gladly give you his name. I am Marcus Klein Ollivander. My father was Klein Marcel Ollivander, who was very highly respected, and yes.
Okay. Sorry to say that name does not ring a bell, sir. Not that I question. I don't question your.
If we have to come back with a
parentage.
baron in order to get this dealt with, we will, but I don't think that's the best way to handle it.
A baron?
Yes. I have connections to one of the barons of Greyhawk. Personal connections.
Okay, are you trying to intimidate him or are you trying to persuade him? Go ahead and make a roll.
Absolutely. I think
it's intimidating. You're intimidating because you're name dropping a baron. Like, do what I
100%.
say or you're gonna be in deep trouble.
17.
I don't think there would be a need to do that. What exactly I can help you with, sir? You said
We
you
wish
wanted
to discuss the political tensions and machinations of the region, as was stated.
With the military governor. I could.
Yes.
I could have the scribe here. Well, you could write a letter to the military governor. I could put my imprimatur upon it and my seal, and that should speed it along if you don't mind. And then the scribe has been taking notes, and he's kind of a bit confused at how this whole conversation is going. It's like so
I'll
if you
just
wish
look
to
over
if
to
you
the
wish to
lieutenant.
dictate
If that
All
is
of that.
suitable with you, Lieutenant, then I'm fine with that.
Pardon, out of character. Did this? What was this guy's rank again?
He's a watch captain.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
He's a captain. He's a
yeah, no, I mean,
army.
he would have been higher ranked than I would have been. I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
pull the whole threatening thing.
No, that worked with the sergeant, but not
yeah,
with
the eyes.
Yeah.
If you were seeing the eyes through the helmet, I would have been like wincing at the whole "I know a Baron" thing. It's like, oh, that's the nobility talking. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but I'm not gonna say anything.
100%. I know the card that I have to play.
Right.
And indeed,
You look over at me, and I look back at the watch captain, and I say, "Does not the military commander have a personal scheduler? Somebody to take care of his day-to-day needs so that he can then focus on the needs of the city?"
Well, that would be the letter would be directed to them. They're the Suet.
Right. But would it not be simpler to then have them schedule us a moment in the day for which he could meet in which he was already not particularly busy, say a lunch or a dinner?
Well,
yeah,
then
it's
that
actually
would.
perfect.
Well, in that case, I will need to write a letter of introduction, and you will still need the letter because otherwise, it's just
That's fine. My
showing up
friend
that-
here is a noble in his own right. I believe that was cleared in Greyhawk just before we left. Was it not? Was that not the business we were introduced?
Yes, it absolutely was. I have been granted all nobility that I once had, plus the
Right.
property
So your
owned by my
mark
family.
on any introductory paper would be that letter of recognition that we would need, and then you could simply pass that along. Is that not enough, or am I mistaken in matters as are handled in Hardby?
No. I mean, that would certainly be the scribe here would actually include a copy therein. You go ahead, and the scribe is like looking back. He's completely lost. He's like, "Am I too? He's gonna dictate me later. He's gonna do this. What the fuck is going on here?"
Oh,
He's like a
I'm
lowly
sure a
private.
standard letter of recognition would be all that's required, in which case you already know the words, as you've probably dictated such words 100 times now, and you, sir, good at your job as I am sure you are, have probably written 1,000 of these by now. So simply write down the words that you know that you need to write, and he will mark it with his noble signet.
Do a persuasion roll. You have advantage because you already have, the intimidation roll that has been before you. So, yeah, okay. It's like, oh yes. Well, I'm sure we can do that. You can do that. So that's right, private. It's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
Okay,
as he's
yeah.
working before it's done, could you also please include documentation of the stellar performance of both of you in this to assist us?
And this is where the watch captain turns around and he sort of struts a little. It's like, yes. Make sure that well, first of all, let's bring tea for the gentleman. And make sure that you include the fact that we by we mean me, being very helpful to these two
both.
gentlemen.
Both.
Yes.
You did a phenomenal job as well.
I'm sure you will make sure that don't you, private? And he looks at his captain like, do an insight on the private. Do an insight on the private.
I wanted to do an insight on the private and the captain. I want to see if this guy is shady in a way that could be used or is problematic. So this is the private. This is the captain.
Yeah, on the private is like, you get the feeling that he knows at the moment you leave, he has to deal with the captain. So he's like,
yep.
And the captain is giving you the standard, you are above my position, ergo I must grovel at least a little bit in order not to get stepped on by the noble. That's the feeling you're getting. Yeah, but you don't get anything else other than, standard, here's a noble, yes sir, 3 bags full, sir.
Yes, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we go through that process and then we wait for the response. But in a moment where it's just me and our new companion, I cannot remember his name to save my life.
Mm-hmm.
You mean me?
No, not you. The paladin.
Yeah, it turns out that Korgath here is dressed up as the watch captain when we weren't looking.
But so when like after we
disgust.
leave and we have a little bit of air, I hate doing that so much. It makes my skin crawl.
Which part?
Oh, the prissy noble, give me what I want bullshit.
Oh, is that an act?
Yes, very much so.
You are quite good at it. I would not have been able to tell.
I had plenty of experience.
You know, I
Before it
just
became
realized how that sounded, and I did not mean that as an insult. I meant
It's
to
not
say
taken.
that we were very accomplished in there, and we both did an excellent job. I did not like how it sounded, but I will not fault you for accomplishing the goal for which you set yourself.
Appreciate it. And no, I agree. I despise how it sounds coming out of my mouth. But it's what comes along with it. It's the expected activity of a noble. And until I'm in a position where I hold more power to change that, I will play into it when I have to, but not when I don't.
We all do what we
Uh,
must in this world.